Hello everybody and welcome back to a new episode of Prehistoric Kingdom. My name is Oak and today we are building a dinosaur hospital. So please enjoy the video. So I got the inspiration of building a hospital from the video I made about the petting zoo, and I was kind of thinking along those lines of how you could expand that concept. And then I thought, there is a place where the babies actually need to be born, or needs to be operated, or have more like urgent care. And then I thought, why not a hospital? So I took a lot of inspiration from the real life hospital called the Denver Zoo Hospital. If you look it up online, you can see that there is actually quite some similarities in the end product. Of course, I put my own twist on it, but I really like the aesthetic. I really like the aesthetic together with Prehistoric Kingdom as well, because a lot of like zoo hospitals or animal hospitals are just really like clinical, and this one is more dark, more. You can put it in a more like prehistoric setting. In the end, we kind of diverge from that, but that's the starting point, and that is actually pretty important in every creative process, of course. So just like the Denver Zoo Hospital, I put in this little like overhang thing at the entrance, which I really liked, and I actually got the idea for the ramp I just built from one of the pictures from Denver Zoo Hospital. But it turned out it didn't have it, but I thought it had it, so it's kind of like a unique twist to it. And in the end it actually worked out with the operating room, which you will see later on, that it is a bit higher up, but again you will see later on. So one thing I really enjoyed about the Denver Hospital Zoo as well was this little like inseam thing where they put like the name of the hospital in it, so it gives a bit more depth, and the wall doesn't look that flat. And I just basically kind of 100% copied it. I did it a little bit different, but I really enjoyed that one. One thing I do not like doing in this game is spelling out the whole thing. I wish they had like a little type thing where you just type it in and then it just appears, but it doesn't have that yet, maybe. So if there is anyone watching from the developers, please put it in. I just hate it. I hate the space, like fixing the spacing between the letters and stuff, because I really hate it when it doesn't align, but I can't be bothered to do every single thing, and it's really cumbersome to change it. So please change it. Change it. I remember when I put it in the letters, I immediately was very happy with the results. So yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. So one of the problems you can have really quickly in this game is that your buildings feel kind of boxy, and I always try to kind of like steer away from that. But for this particular build, I don't really think that is a huge problem. It can be a little bit boxy because it is more of a functional and more of a not really entertaining building, but still I wanted to not be like as boxy as you might think when you think it can be boxy. So I tried to try some different things with the windows and maybe different textures on the walls, but in the end I just looked at Denver the Denver thing, and just basically drew inspiration from it. So I didn't copy it because I already had in mind what I wanted to do with these windows, but you will see later on, because they will be more functional than they are right now. So basically in this little room I wanted the operating room to be, so I first started experimenting with some fences and looking like how would you contain an animal that is being treated. Later on I will delete those fences because I thought like, well, you would tranquilize them, of course, when you go and operate them. So later on I will delete them, but yeah, that's part again of the creative process. So at first I wanted to make it a big flat roof on top, but then I realized if you want a dinosaur to actually walk in it or stand up straight, you know, we have to make sure that we can facilitate every single dinosaur we have in the game. So I took a cutout or a sign of the biggest animal. I just placed it there, so I had a little reference, and you know, that way I could really see the height I needed to build. Later on I will lower it a little bit, but it will still be high enough. So the roof I wanted to be a continuous overhang, so I made sure to make it equal at every side. It was kind of a hassle, but in the end it worked out. So eventually I decided to change the palette of the whole structure because I didn't really like the gray look it had. I do like it, but I didn't think it would fit a hospital, even though the Denver one did have it. I just wasn't feeling it, so I ended up with this kind of like wood thing, which still looks really clean and clinical and modern, but still had this wild vibe to it that the Prehistoric Kingdom Park wants. So I didn't only wanted to do the exterior, I always wanted to do the interior. Just a little bit, not too much, because I'm not really good at interiors, and I wasn't really feeling any inspiration for the interior, so I may want to do another pass on the interior at a later date. So if you guys have any ideas or any suggestions or any tips for the interior, please let me know. I'm more than happy to take suggestions for that one. But I am making the floor right here, and I just wanted to make a simple reception with a little like dining area for the workers or the doctors. Nothing too fancy, because there won't be any visitors here except for maybe some tours when there is not an operation going on. So I just kept it simple. I really like these like towel textures I use here for the main floor at the entrance and also for the operating room. They just feel very clinical. I believe they are officially metal, but I just see them as more towels you see often in a hospital. So yeah, I think they look pretty cool. So I talked about the windows having more functional purpose. So what I wanted to do is kind of like make a system, or like make it seem there is a system where the doctors could potentially close some sort of metal curtain to go down for maybe some lights to prevent light coming in, or maybe just have some privacy, or when a animal is waking up it doesn't like see the outside, and of course for safety, because when you have a Tyrannosaurus Rex on the operating room and it wakes up, you don't want there to be just glass protecting you from the outside. And to emphasize the way it works, I placed down I made a closed one as well, so you kind of see how it works. So here I am building a overview area for maybe doctors or residencies to look at the operations and maybe learn. It could also be for visitors that wanted to see a operation in action. So I'm just placing some glass there, and yeah, I think that is a nice touch to it. It's not necessary, but I think it's alright. So I know I said I didn't want it to look too boxy, but I ended up just placing a big box on top of the on top of the operating room, and I didn't really mind it because I think the building needs to have a more practical feel to it, and I think it would be more logical to have a big like concrete box on top of the operating room for the big animals, just more efficient basically. And I don't really mind it how it turned out. The only thing is that the game kind of is not really good in big like surfaces when you have multiple like sections. So yeah, that's kind of a thing I don't really like, but I don't really see another way except for scaling one slab and just expanding it. But I don't really like doing that either, because then you get really finicky with a lot of corners, which in the end also didn't really match up, but it's alright if you look from distance. So I like my catwalks, so even this build will have a catwalk for maybe some observations, or for instance if you have a really big dinosaur and you need to, for instance, do some dental work, I don't know, you can be up there it just makes sense again for the size we are working with here to have a catwalk to look down, and of course maybe also for some safety. You know, you have a guy with a gun that can tranquilize them when and if they wake up. So yeah, again, it makes sense. So for the railings, I ended up just taking the ones I made for the mammoth enclosure because I really like those and they're kind of simple, and easily copyable. So I just copied those because why not? So like I said, the interior I kept really simple. I just placed down some walls, built a reception and a little dining area for the doctors. And basically the reception is just two parts put on top of each other and spelled out reception with the letters, which again I really wish I didn't have to do it like that. But it turned out okay. It's not the best. I think I can do a better job maybe in the future. But for now it's fine. You can also see me misspelling reception here, but I will correct myself as you can see. So yeah, that's again, like I just don't like the way you do letters, but I hope they will change that in the future. I also wanted to do something on the roof or at the ceiling of the operating room, so I decided to place in one of those cranes, which you sometimes see in warehouses or like movie studios, where they can kind of like move stuff over the roof. So I really want to make one of those, and then again it only made sense because of course you're working with really big and heavy animals, and sometimes you maybe want to lift them or keep them up high to maybe work on their legs, or move them or secure them in some way or form. So yeah, I think that's a really nice addition, and it's a small part, but I really enjoy that little detail in this build. So after I put in all the benches and little dining areas, again really simple, I basically was done. I also did some work outside with some plants, but I didn't record that one because I paused the recording and then I thought, oh, I need to do something outside, and then I just basically did it without recording. So you guys will see it in a sec. So the only thing left to do now is to actually give you guys the tour. So please enjoy. Alright, so here we are, the Dino Hospital. Exterior is nothing to write home about, which I mean the whole thing around it. But like I said in early episodes, I'm planning to actually do a separate episode of bringing the whole park together. But I want to do that when I have a little bit more enclosures and a little bit more buildings. So keep your eyes looked out for that one. If you guys have any suggestions for that one, please let me know. So the hospital, Dino Hospital. As you can see, I made the little sign here. I really enjoy how that turned out. It looks really, really cool, I think. Some simple plants here, nothing too fancy. Again, it's very barren, but that's one thing I really like about this words. Again, it's kind of barren, but I kind of enjoy that one because it is an hospital and it needs to be functional. So, and even in its barren state, I still think it looks kind of cool. So yeah, that's really cool. So you come up here. I placed some fences here, or a little wall thing, so you can still look out, but it's safety thing. And then if you come in here, you get the reception. So next to the reception, you have two doors, which can be offices or maybe some specialized operating rooms. I also put in these ring lights, which really feel clinical to me. So I really think they're pretty cool. So like I said, a very simple dining table thing for the doctors and the staff here. Nothing too fancy over there. And then right here you have the observation room where you can look at the operation being done, with some little things here. Maybe you can place down your clipboard, or can write down some stuff. And yeah, observe the dinosaur. Maybe watch it wake up if it can be done in this room. So because doors don't work, you just have to trust me. You go through here and you come out right here or there, but I will show you guys in a sec. So you come down here and you enter the main operating room. I put down some tools right here. So, oh, that doesn't look really professional. That's really really not good. There you go. So some stuff here. So you have like a little operating table for the smaller animals, a little ladder because they can be big as well, a washing station, a bucket for blood or something. And oh, this isn't very good. It needs to be like that. You know, just some practical stuff. And then right here I have the little cranes I made, and I thought they needed a little remote, so I just basically took a vent and just scaled it down a bit. So you have this little remote, and you can move them maybe in this axis, and you know, lower or raise the chains like so. So that's pretty cool. And then if you come up there, you get the little observation area, the catwalk, because you know I love catwalks. And you can basically look down at the operation or at the animal and just observe it, which I think is pretty cool. And right here you have the curtain thingies, which you can also control by that remote, with that remote, sorry. And a closed one here as well. And of course the big door where the animals can enter if they are awake, or you know, they are big animals. So I rather have a really big door than a too small of a door. So yeah, that's basically it. It is something different than I normally make, but and I also it isn't really in my comfort zone to make buildings. So I hope you guys still liked it. I'm planning to do more of these builds and get better at it in the future. If you guys have any tips on the videos or especially the building part, please let me know. If you guys want some changes in this, I would love to hear your opinions about it, especially with the interior part. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I personally really enjoyed it. Even though it is, you know, I can see it's made by a novice novice builder, I still really enjoyed it. So that's what matters, because this is a hobby, not a job. So, if you liked the video, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Even though you have nothing to say, please, an emoji would also help, because I want to make sure more people watch this content, because I like making it, and I hope you guys enjoy watching it. So if you enjoy it, just leave a comment. Doesn't matter what it is. Of course, a little smiley would be the best if you don't know what to do, and that would really help me. So, the only thing I have left to say to you is see you guys next time. Bye bye.